Alex Jones is somebody whose work has been used by at least some aspects of law enforcement. There was a story that came out about a Black Lives Matter activist whose life was ruined partially by rumor, lie, distortion that was spread by InfoWars, and a Facebook post that was distorted in a legal process. We're going to need to, we talked about it, I think, in the context of Jake Flores, but we should talk about it more. Just a reminder that as fun as Alex Jones is, and the fact that he's certainly a incredibly talented broadcaster, and it's hysterical, that this is the mind of the Republican Party, and this is somebody who is probably influencing people who have real power. And I was actually hanging out with Corey Pine recently, and he made a good point, which is well taken, particularly for people who do a kind of genre like I do, which is that even if it's a MAGA chud and they're stupid and they're an idiot, and of course they need to be mocked and they need to be made fun of and their brand needs to be hurt, they still can have a lot of power. They can be a jackass. There's no idea what they're talking about. They can have a dumb, Oakley aviators. They could fulfill every single stereotype of a loser, moron, mouth-breathing Alex Jones, Donald Trump, Republican, whatever. And they could still be a cop. They could still be in Homeland Security. They could still be working on a Senate staff. They could still be lobbying. They could still be working at a Fortune 500. They could be an attorney for a firm. It doesn't mean they don't have power. So I will get back to the customary Alex Jones is fucking hilarious in a second. But it is good to remind ourselves sometimes that this paranoia and propaganda and nonsense is at the center of American life under this regime.
But I have been told that this is the gateway to the traction. That's how Trump does it. He enters it at one irrefutable point that they covered up what happened on 9/11, that they blocked the lawsuits, that Mueller was the guy that quarterbacked all that, and then he quarterbacked the entire cover-up, brought in 2 days after 9/11, and that it goes into Saudi Arabia, it goes into the Bushes, it goes into the Clintons, who set it up beforehand, it goes into Saudi Arabia, Al-Qaeda, and Trump has them dead to rights. He has all the documents, he has all the admissions, and he's letting them know, I have the ace of spades. So, just like Trump back, and we'll pull the clip up, during one of the debates told Jeb Bush, yeah, your brother did a terrible job on 9/11 standing down. The next day, he dropped out. So we're going to play that clip coming up. The media criticized Trump. Trump famously called into CNN a week after 9/11 and said, boy, those buildings sure felt strange, like there was bombs in them. He wanted everything on record that he knew. So, deep state working with radical criminal Islam, involved in 9/11, the stand down, all of it, the CIA building, Building 7 getting blown up. Trump is preparing and wants you to know and wants us to know, and I am the individual that is supposed to say the super hard, dangerous things up front. I'm very honored. I've asked for that position. It's a very honorable position, very dangerous position. But yeah, there's the video. Donald Trump, 9/11, bombs exploded in the WTC towers. Boom. So Trump's very smart, laying his breadcrumbs to the point where he can turn around and go after him. He knows everything about this. So I bring you now for this segment the next Roger Stone. Roger, I don't think we can hype this enough, how big this is and how huge this is. I called you last night at 10:30 after I got off the phone and then received the information. You said that you were getting concurrent info, and this is just the beginning of Trump's big rollout, his ace of spades. I mean, would you call this, the economy's his real ace of spades, and telling the truth's his ace of spades. But when it comes to devastating the deep state, this torpedo, this black arrow into the heart of smog, I mean, this is what needs to be done for justice, but it's also must strike complete fear into the deep state.
Look up Roger Stone and swinging if you want to go down an amusing little internet rabbit hole about that scum.
Alex is totally right. I have multiple ace of spades.
I have multiple ace of spades, and I was telling Ivanka on date night, 9/11 doesn't seem right. I like how it's like not only is this obviously nonsense, it's like if there was, I mean, we know like definitely the Bush family is very tight with the Saudis. That's real. And there was, not in the sense of like they did 9/11, but in the sense of we're going to try to minimize the political fallout that could affect the Saudi royal family out of this. Yes, that's definitely a real thing. I feel like though, if I still had to put money on somebody who might have like randomly ran into Bin Laden at some like just place where you're trying to like scrounge up like poppy field investment for hotels, that probably would be Trump. I met Bin Laden. He's a great guy. 7 wives. 7 wives. And I will tell you, I did not support 9/11, but you cannot deny that was, I mean, it was quite a thing they pulled off.
The Bin Laden family does a lot of great airports, a lot of great interstates.
You know what's funny is that Bin Laden, the founding patriarch of the Bin Laden family, is actually basically like, he is like an actual and vastly more successful Trump. He's a billionaire builder who created a massive family dynasty through essentially a parasitic relationship with the Saudi state. There's a really good book by Steve Cull. I believe it's called Bin Laden's Biography of an Arabian Family in the American Century, which I recommend everybody read.